Hello, I am Layman Kingsford. Welcome to Game Speak on my Gaming Misadventures channel, where I chat about gaming things, whether it's designs, my designs, or games I play, games I like, books I like, TV shows, movies, that sort of stuff that inspire my game design, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about Get Blazed. It's a game concept, really mostly a name, that I had years and years ago when pot was very first becoming legal here in Colorado, and I thought, hey, I could design some sort of fun, lightweight game for people to play that's pot themed. Um, and I never really got anything working. There were a couple iterations that I sort of tried to put together, and they didn't work at all. And it's something I ended up shelving for years now. And then yesterday, which was a Wednesday if you care, because it's Thursday right now, and normally I record these on Mondays, but got derailed in many ways this week. Yesterday I was planning on sitting down and working on Living Saga stuff, Living Empires, Living Starship, Living Metropolis, and I got derailed by the thought of my houseboy stuff. Something about roll and writes came up. I don't know why. And I was thinking, how come I've never made a roll and write version of Houseboy? And like, So I got to thinking. I started putting some stuff together. Totally derailed my plans from working on Living Saga stuff. And so as got some cards laid out, using the artwork from Houseboy and stuff, and I thought, oh, this is kind of a fun idea. For whatever reason, the Get Blazed notion. Oh, I know what it is. For some random reason, on Facebook, on my Facebook page, there is a Get Blazed page that I started years ago and haven't touched it in years. If for some reason the algorithms are randomly feeding people to it just in the past few days, that's why it was on my mind. So I got to thinking, wait, I've never come up with a good mechanism or style of game for Get Blazed. How about roll and write? And it was kind of like, duh. They're fun. Oh, hey, there's my hand there. They're fun. They're easily accessible, kind of playable by anybody. If I don't infuse it with too much math, it should be fine if you're token up as well. So I got derailed from my derailed work and started working on Get Blazed and basically hammered this all together yesterday. So this is advice I often give designers too in like workshops and things. Is that they said, well, how do you get started, or where do you get started? Where do your ideas come from? I said, oh, sometimes it's a theme, and then I find like this, try to find something to plug into it that fits the theme of the game. Sometimes it's a game mechanism or game style. I go, oh, hey, I've got a really interesting notion on how to make a fresh take on a certain game mechanism, and then throw a theme on top of it. Sometimes it's a little of both. In this case, what inspired me is I thought I don't need to reinvent the wheel because there's so many great roll and write games out there these days. But what if I took something fun and easy that I've played with literal non-gamers, people who've never played much of anything in their lives. It's a game called Zombie Dice, where you're just drawing out 3 dice from a nice little tube, rolling them, trying to because you're a zombie. You're trying to keep the brain results aside because there's brains on them. And those are your points. And then there's little footsteps, and those are dice you keep rolling because the people you're trying to eat are running away from you. And then there's shotgun blasts. If you take 3 shotguns, you keep rolling dice until you either stop and collect your points, or until you get 3 shotgun blasts, and then you're out for the turn, and then you lose everything. It's a push your luck mechanics. I thought, what if we did that, but instead of obviously brains, do some pot-related iconography on it. So take that as a base mechanism and realize, unless maybe we call it cashing out, probably not the push your luck to the point of if you roll 3 of the bad things, you lose the round. Because then I thought, but this needs to be a roll and write, so I got to have something to write. What if we took a score sheet, a little bit simplified from like Ganz schon clever, that's so clever, and its iterations. And I thought, not doing too much math on it, of course, which that game doesn't do. And so, as you can see here on the screen, is our score sheet. So you can see that there's the different zones, and the object of the game is to completely fill out 3 of those zones and then the game is over, and you're declared the winner because you've achieved the ultimate high. I don't know. And so you've got 3 different zones in which you're going to write down your results. And then there's 3 different types of dice that we're going to be pulling from a bag. There's the, exactly like zombie dice, there are these green dice, of which there are 6, have the fewest coughing results, because you see the little coughing symbol once you roll 3. It was sort of real, sort of fake. 3 cough results, your turn is done. So these green dice only have 1 cough result. They have 3 sides with the weed, the little joint. I'm not really a pot smoker at all because I hate smoking, just in general. But I will do edibles every couple times a year. But anyway, there's also little lighters on there. So what you're having to do is when you're rolling your dice, you're trying to pair up lighter results and the little joint results, and those dice you can set aside and keep and use their numbers to fill in stuff. The sheets are on that side to fill in the numbers. There's the yellow dice, which are sort of medium difficulty. They have 2 cough symbols, 2 lighters, and 2 joints. Then there's the red ones, of which there are 3 in the bag. They have 3 sides, 50% chance of getting the cough symbol. 1 weed side, number 5 though, and 2 lighter sides, a 3 and a 4. So there's no numbers 1 and 2 on the red dice, but there is a 3, 4, and 5. There is no 5 on the yellow dice, but there is 1 through 4. And then the green dice have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they all go in the bag. I guess suppose you theoretically could play this game with any number of people, but probably 4 or 5-ish, because it's not going to be shared dice quite so much. Like, let me put on my old man glasses. Like Gan's showing clever, but on your turn, you're going to draw 3 dice from here. I don't know if I really need these. You're going to roll them. So I got a lighter and a pot thing. I can set that aside, and 1 cough. So I'm going to switch over here to Photoshop so that I can actually write on here for you. Oh, there you go. You can see that. You can even zoom in. So you always be rolling 3 dice. I didn't mention that, but if you're familiar with zombie dice, this will make sense. If you're not familiar with zombie dice, you're giving a scatterbrains thing here. But yeah, I kind of am. Pull out 3 more dice, because that cough I have to set aside. That's one of, or if I wanted on here, I could mark that off if it were like a dry erase sheet, not just a plain piece of paper, because you're going to need those coughs over and over every turn. But here I can just erase it. So I've got 1 cough. Oh no, oh, holy cow. And this is all you're play testing on the screen. So that's a whole bunch of coughs right there. So all I got was a 3 and a 4. So now I'm going to have to decide where I want to put this 3 and this 4. I'm going to zoom in here. Oh, computer's being really laggy. I'm trying to ask it to do a lot. So to get talkative, this blabby section, you need pairs. So there's 3 sections of pair. You get the same number, so 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, whatever. I don't have a pair. I have a 3 and a 4. On the munchies, I could cross out. Where's that's really. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. So just for simplicity's sake, just for demonstration here, I've got a 3 and a 4. So I'm going to cross out that 3. I'm going to cross out this 4. When you complete an entire row here, you actually don't have to put anything in. You'll get a little bonus, a reroll, which you could circle, and then later in the game, you've got that circled. Oh, hey, I have that, and you cross it off when you want to reroll one of your dice. But anyways, I'm just going to keep it simple here, 3 and a 4. So that would be the end of my turn, because I had 4 coughs. I put all the dice back in the bag, and then pass it on to somebody else. So now, at the end of the turn, for thinking, if there's at least whenever, and you could quit at any time. You could quit end your turn before you get that many coughs if you wanted. There's really no point. You go until you cough out. I think I'm subconsciously making myself cough, or subliminally, subconsciously, something. So the thought is that when your turn, all the other players get to use one of your dice. So I had a 3 and a 4. They could put either a 3 or a 4 somewhere on their board. All right. So we're going to do this as if I'm a second player. I'm going to roll 3 dice, 3 lighters. So I think, I don't know, for random reason, just because I know the reds are really likely to roll coughs. So I'm just going to keep that as a number 4. Keep these 2. Always rolling 3 dice. Draw another one from the bag. Yay, a green one. Now I can choose to keep or re-roll any of these. I'm only keeping the red 4. Ooh. So there's, there we go. So I've got 2 sets of things. I've got a lighter and a joint, and a lighter and a joint. No coughs. Gonna keep going. I suppose it's statistically possible you could roll, because there's what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 dice in the game. You could roll all 12 dice and never get a cough. So if you were to do that, that would be the end of turn, and if you had no coughs, nobody would get to use one of your dice results. Ooh, still no coughs. But there's a lighter and a joint, and another joint, a 2, 3, and a 2. Ooh. Kind of like pairs. Oh, but that doesn't really work. 3 and a 2. So I'm thinking, obviously, now here's the thing that didn't occur to me as I was designing it. I have 2 2s, 3 2s really, so I could do the 3 of a kind. Say this player just leaves it like this and say, I'm done, I don't want to cough out, don't want any of you people get any of my points. So I don't, just because these pair up in order to activate in order for you to set them aside, doesn't mean you have to score them together. So now I can just, I've got all of these results. I have some 2s. So I can do this here. So I actually have 3 of a kind. So I get a 2, and a 2, and a 2. Circle. What this plus or minus means is that at some point I can choose one of my dice and either add 1 to it or subtract 1 to it. Helpful in getting those specific numbers you need during the game. I also have, now I have a 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. Where does that help me? Ooh, here we go. 1, 3, 4, 5. So I'm really close to finishing off that large straight. Large straight, mini straight, micro straight. With that, it's a micro straight. I don't know. So, anyway, that's cool. Once you've used dice for something, you can't use them for anything else. Put them back in the bag and pass them on. I just scored on the same score sheet as if I was the first player. Anyway, you're getting the point. Because right then, as a second player, I had no coughs, so nobody would have gotten to copy any of my dice results, and we'd pass the dice on. So that's just really sort of the crux of how this works. It was inspired, as I said, by those 2 games of, not what I want, sorry, of zombie dice and Gens Shown Clever, throwing those things together. Hold on. Good grief. There we go. Throwing those 2 concepts together, jumble them up, and we got a whole brand new game. If you're a game designer, there's no strict need that you have to reinvent the wheel. Your game is only viable if it's something completely new and out of the box. Honestly, none of us are likely to ever come up with the next collectible card game. I mean, as a mechanism, not as the game itself, or deck building game, or roll and write. It's probably not going to happen that we come up with something particularly original. All we're doing is taking existing things and reworking them, reimagining them, retooling them. In this, like in this case, combining 2 things together, and voila, fresh new game. Anyway, that's a little bit about Get Blazed. Maybe gives you a hint at how my little brain works. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're rolling dice, drawing cards, or moving meeples, just keep gaming. I'm Layman Kingsford, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!